I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This One's Wife. Panic Mode. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Emma Wilson writes in The Mirror, "This one's wife in panic." But what's she in a panic over? And do narcissists panic? Well, first of all, narcissists do panic. Lacking the calm, measured, anxiety-free, fear-free approach of the psychopath, the narcissist does experience things such as anxiety, fear, and panic. Panic will be a reaction to a threat to control. This causes the narcissist then to respond in a particular way to nullify that threat to control. As I've explained to you before, when your throat is dry and uncomfortable, that's your way of knowing, as your body signals to you, that you're dehydrated. Thus, you go and get a drink to alleviate the discomfort and hydrate your body. If it didn't do that, it's unlikely that you would remember to hydrate yourself every, say, 2 hours or more frequently when you're exerting yourself or in warm weather, so that the result is that you would become seriously dehydrated, risking injury or death. Thus, your body has an inbuilt defense mechanism to help you in that regard. The narcissism is similar. It causes the narcissist to feel and to think in a particular way, which will then motivate the narcissist to pursue the prime aims, for instance, by asserting control over somebody or nullifying that threat to control, by provoking somebody to draw fuel from them, for instance. Thus, panic can be utilized by the narcissism as a means of motivating the narcissist into action, being concerned about something which is a threat to control, and therefore causing the narcissist to take the appropriate action to nullify that threat to control. As a mid-range narcissist, this one's wife is susceptible to panic. She's susceptible to anxiety. She's susceptible to fear, along with other responses and emotions. But what is this panic all about in relation to her? Well, according to The Mirror, it relates to the new documentary about her life, which apparently she fears will be critical. The upcoming documentary from German royal commentator Ulrich Grunewald focuses on the former Suits star's past. One wonders how murky that will be, as well as her relationship with the Prince of Pink Pancakes. It's reported the Duchess of Sussex is becoming fearful of what could be laid bare in the programme. Now, it's not the case that this one's wife is sat there knowing that she's done all of these dodgy things in the past and they're suddenly going to be unearthed. Because of the compartmentalization of her narcissism, it basically wipes the record of that. Instead, what concerns her is the fact that there is a program that's going to be made about her, or is being made about her, that she has no involvement in. And that's what threatens her sense of control. It isn't that she sits there thinking, oh shit, what if they find out that I hazed that girl in school and a settlement had to be paid to keep it hush-hush? Oh no, what if they find out actually that I was sucky for Chucky on yachts? Oh dear, what if they find out that I'd actually engaged in a bit of horizontal jogging with Prince Andrew before I actually met him? Oh no, what if they find out that I actually did have a first wedding before Trevor Engelson, and there was a child that came from that union, a child that I've given away? Oh, what if they find out that actually I was wearing a moon bump and that I never actually gave birth to Archie or Lilibert? It isn't the case that she sits there worrying that those alleged transgressions and naughtiness on her part will be uncovered. The narcissism has locked all of that away. What is the problem is what is occurring in the here and now. And the here and now is, we're making a program about you that you have no input into. And it's that, the lack of input. Remember, this one's wife always likes to bang on about her truth, doesn't she? And that's because she has her own reality. And she wants to ensure that her reality is imposed on everybody else. She doesn't recognize it as a separate reality. She thinks that it is the reality. But the way that she sees the world, she subconsciously needs to impose on everybody else. This is why she has never been interviewed by anybody in a forensic fashion to ask her the difficult questions, because her narcissism will not let it happen. Not because she's got something to hide, although she most likely has, but because being interviewed by somebody who could ask difficult questions, who is not necessarily soft-soaping her, is a threat to control. And what her narcissism needs to do is always ensure that she has that control. Therefore, if you're going to ask me questions, it needs to be an interviewer who's been approved and that it's been confirmed that it'll be about these things. In essence, enabling her to talk about what she wants to talk about rather than being hauled over the coals or cross-examined in any way. Therefore, as a consequence of that, this one's wife finds herself put in this situation of always needing that control because of her narcissism, and then when something that comes along threatens her control, namely a program that has been created without any input or approval from her, that is a threat to control. Now, if that program, when aired, made mention of the fact that she was a yacht girl, in that instance, that then resurrects what she's done in the past and is an immediate threat to control. But she won't sit there thinking, oh God, will they unearth this or unearth that? It doesn't work like that because of the compartmentalization that the narcissist engages in. It's rather the fact that they are talking about her without her controlling their narrative. The fact that they're speaking about her and she doesn't know what they're going to say. That's what amounts to the threat to control. Mr. Quinn continues by explaining this one's wife is in panic mode about the new documentary being made by a German journalist. She will assume that unless she is invited to take part, and better still to have a final say over what is included in the programme, it is likely to be critical. This is the paranoia of the narcissist. If I'm not involved in it, you're bound to speak ill of me. This one's wife can't see that she should adopt the old royal motto, never explain, never complain. This one's wife's obsession with my truth means she just can't do this. But if she reacts to any criticism in the programme, and there is definitely going to be some criticism, it will just draw more fire. He claimed that this one's wife was a massive control freak, i.e. she's a narcissist, and would see any criticism as unfair, correct? He added, having a hissy fit every time she is criticised makes this one's wife seem petulant and immature. Well, she is, but it's because of her narcissism. This one's wife and Harry have tried to take ownership of how they are presented in the media, control, and despite their best efforts, their public image is still at an all-time low. Now, Mr. Quinn then makes an interesting observation, which makes sense with regard to part of the attraction that Harry has in relation to this one's wife. One of Harry's most profound complaints has always been his inability to control what was said and written about him. When he met this one's wife, he believed she could get a grip on the world in a way he could never manage. She had the determination, i.e. in other words, she had the pathological need for control, to take critics by the scruff of the neck and give them a good shake. He claimed that this one's wife's confidence in her own abilities, i.e. her self-absorption, has always been reassuring for a boy with no real confidence of his own. And that would explain part of the attraction, namely, she comes across as being forthright, that she knows what she wants and how to get it. And with Harry lacking confidence, that becomes rather attractive. And, in a way, for him, it feels like Megs will sort it out. She's got the drive. She doesn't take this shit. And the reason being is as a consequence of her narcissism. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.